How about people with a boiler in their house? So a lot of old Buffalo houses have a boiler. They might want cooling. They're architectural gems. You know, you don't want to be drilling through the old brick. What solution do you generally come up with there?
Again, one of my specialty projects. Those are, in my opinion, those are bread and butter. So it's going in, because I'm a firm believer. One of my favorite systems is a hot water boiler. So when I go into those houses and they say, look, I'm looking for air conditioning, I kind of like to start the conversation with, are you looking for full home cooling, or are you looking to kind of find different spots just to kind of make those areas comfortable? If they're looking for full home cooling, there are different options to do split systems. So there are going to be wall-mounted units. There are going to be, they're called floor-mounted units, but they just sit closer to the ground. It's a low profile. Sometimes when people have I'll start this way. If they have a boiler and they have cast iron radiators, 9 times out of 10, they're going to do a high wall head unit. And that's because they already have all this floor space taken up from their radiators. But that being said, is we have done anywhere from adding ductwork to a house or creating different zones. So let's say if their boiler was zoned, we can then zone the cooling. Same thing that I've been going through. So we can add different high head wall mounted units. We can do flush mount ceiling cassettes. We can do the floor mounted units if and when they're called for. But all of these different solutions, there was one not too long ago that he had a boiler. So everything kind of for me goes back to finding customers a way to save money. So that being said, is if I can find a rebate, I'm going to do that. That's my entire job, to just make sure that that customer is getting everything out of that system. So if he has a boiler, a really easy one is, again, I'll just call it a ranch, 1,300 square feet. That being said, he has a boiler and he wants to add 3 wall-mounted units. There's actually a way to, again, everything that I mentioned about that heat load calculation, if I go through and kind of do a few extra steps that a lot of other people don't do, if I do those steps, I might be able to get him 4 wall-mounted units that would actually be cheaper than 3 wall-mounted units, because that 4th one gets them eligible for a rebate. So everything is a fine line about being able to really look at the overall project and keep that open-mindedness, just to see how I can best fit a system for this customer. That's everything. Going in there, finding those rebates, finding anything just to save a customer some money based on today's economy. That's everyone's very, very thankful when I'm the only estimate that's coming in that has a $3,000-$4,000 rebate, and all these other guys only have a federal tax credit. Mine will have the rebate and the federal tax credit, and a system that is a little bit bigger than everyone else's, or not even bigger, but just covers more of their space. So that's one of the things that I absolutely love, is being able to do that and stand out. And that's, again, why I think we continuously succeed, is because of those, not only the heat pump projects specifically, but realistically, that really helps spread the word to all their friends and family.
Certainly. No, and I think that has been the difference with us, and with you focusing on project management and going to these jobs is finding these rebates. And it's really because you care about the customer, and that if you dive in, you put more effort in than anyone else. I know you like winning. You want to get those bids. You want to educate, but certainly you take the caring, you take the fact that you want to give them the best solution and get the job, and it certainly shows. So thank you for that. And last question, I guess, is just a customer, say they have a working system now, but they might be curious what else is out there. Does it make sense to call beforehand while everything's still running? When is the best time to start looking at different options?
I almost say there's never a bad time. And the reason I say that is because sometimes people just want information. By all means, that's more than fine. Have someone come out, have them go over their options. The reason I sometimes like people to get ahead of the problem is because if they wait for their system to fail, then they're in a sticky spot. Then they're in a stressed out situation. They're not, I don't want to say thinking clearly, but when they can proactively replace a system, they can sit down, they can think about it, they can ask questions, they can find that solution for them. So to answer your question, yes, there's not a wrong time, but there is a better time. And that is going to be when that system is still functioning, to have someone come out to then go over your average life expectancy, the condition of it, kind of run through that system and see if there's, sometimes I'll go into a house, I've gone in, ironically, boiler systems, gone in, the customers, I'm their fourth estimate, and they, every other customer came in, or every other company came in and offered them a boiler replacement. I look at the system and I said, look, I mean, sure, I can quote you a boiler replacement, but if we do a few of these repairs, I can probably buy you another 5, 6, 7 years. And then during that time, then it gives you the time to save up for a replacement. Customers love that. And again, that's about caring for the customer, not having them spend unless it is absolutely necessary for them. But everything being said, that's a perfect example, is that customer, it was a functioning system. They were looking at replacements, but sometimes a repair is that much more beneficial to buy time for the customer.
Right. Yeah. And I think, to me, I've always looked at it as we're the investigator, we're going in, just trying to figure out what's going on. We'd like to give all the information to the customer, let them know all the solutions that might exist, and let them, make the best decision they can with that.
Yeah.
Tyler, is there anything I didn't ask you or anything else you'd like to elaborate on?
Honestly, it's more or less just going to be, ironically, I would say just find a company and find a role that you like going into every day. There's not a day that I don't enjoy. Every single time we have great communication between our installers, service techs, maintenance techs, managers. I mean, it's still great that we're a family-owned business, because that being said, I've called you in the middle of the day before and you're still answering the phone, so that you're still fully involved. That's about finding the right company. Same thing with managers. I can call the department manager because I'm still learning every single day. The department manager, he has experience. He has been through more than I have, and he has no problem showing me his way, or showing me the way, I should say, because there's still that much that I need to learn, and he's open to helping, which is the entire design of Cellino, is getting everyone to grow. That's my last thing that I'd like to leave, is finding that spot that you know you're in, that people respect you, that always want to help you improve. And that's exactly what we do here.
Yeah, no, and it's in getting the right people, and I think just makes it
right
all work.
people.
It can't be one person. You got to have a whole company of everyone that
It's a
fits
team.
that character, those values, the mission, and
It's a team. And even on the plumbing side, it's funny because, again, I started as a plumber, not even as a plumber. I started as just coming in and helping a plumber when I first came in here. I still, because of that experience from the 2 weeks that I was on the plumbing side, opened up conversations that I still have. I still talk to plumbers left and right. Right now, there's times that I'll just have a random phone call from one of the plumbers call me, and we're talking for 25 minutes in between calls. So it's great that it's not only in each department, it's a company-wide thing. So everyone is always open to helping each other, and that's, again, the best thing that you can do to finding a place to work.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And Ken, we're lucky to have you. Glad to have you. And hopefully the future's bright and we see where this goes.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke.